Good evening. Hope everyone's doing really well. Today is December 1st, 2020. Hard to believe we're already cracking into December. Our goal today is to have some shine like a North Star time. And if you remember, this is a tradition I have at 6 p.m. on Tuesday Central Time. And the goal is really to think through how we can shine our best as we transition to our new reality through this pandemic. So my company is called North Star Coaching. Welcome if you haven't been before. The idea of North Star is the idea that we all shine our brightest. And if you know anything about the North Star, it doesn't always shine as bright as the next night or the previous night. So Shine Like a North Star is really about helping you manage your imperfections, be your brightest and your best, and really stay true to that same spot using your talents and your skills that you bring to the table. So, on popular request, tonight's topic is prioritization. Now, I don't think that's the word people used when they suggested this topic. It was more the idea of how do I get it all done? So, if you have some other topics that you want to hear about on our Tuesday night tradition, please feel free to go to my company and send me a message to my company website or text it here in the comment section. This whole idea of getting it all done, how do you prioritize, how do you not get sort of caught in those spins of the day-to-day stuff that we always get dragged into, I got a secret for you. There is no getting it all done. I really think that part of the secret to prioritization and in our head getting it all done is actually letting go of the idea that you're going to get it all done. Like, who does that, right? I might have a list of 10 things that I complete today. I might get through 8 of them. Gosh, I write those 2 things on my list for tomorrow, and tomorrow starts, and then I've got 12 things to do tomorrow. And you can see how this just kind of cascades and snowballs into a bigger issue. The bottom line is I need to have a few key things that I do, and that's my standard. We expect so much of ourselves that we often have this unrealistic expectation. I'm going to sneeze. You know how as soon as you say I'm going to sneeze, you never do? Okay, sorry for the teaser on that. We have this unreal expectation that we are going to get it all done. And like good leaders and good employees and good moms and good dads and good parents, get it all done. We're just going to burn ourselves out doing that. A friend many years ago was telling me about a conference that he attended, and it was like a super big keynote, way important person that probably got paid 20 grand to talk for 20 minutes. And the person's message was, every day I tell myself one thing that I'm going to do, and I go in my office and I shut the door and I don't leave until I get that one thing done. Could be writing a birthday card to your grandma, could be finishing the budget. You're locked in that room for days, right? And that was this person's philosophy. Like, I think if I get one important thing done a day, it's not just like trimming my nails. But grandma's important, let's be clear. Decide what that top thing is and make sure you accomplish it at all costs. That's prioritization. It's not looking at the other 9 or 90 things that you have to get done in there. Some other ideas that I've heard through the Leadership Academy that I've led is people have little whiteboards outside of their door and they write down their top 2 or 3 things that they want to accomplish in that day. So the win of that is that there's some accountability. Hey Sherry, good to see you. I love having coffee with you. It's like a little Leadership Academy time. The putting the message on the outside of the office door is some accountability, right? So now you're saying publicly, these are my priorities today. And if you're dropping by, you know, ooh, those aren't her priorities. I'm going to catch her when she doesn't have so much on her plate. So part of it is engaging other people in what your priorities are so that they can support you doing those priorities. And another part is just letting yourself not do everything. Your quality of life is going to go in the toilet and you're going to find that you just spin in place and your days are full of activity and not productivity. I love this gesture my mom showed a while ago. You know, people can spin in place, but at some point you need to stop and move forward. Right? Being a good leader, a good mother, a good father, a good parent, a good partner, all of that stuff is not about being perfect. It's about having the right energy on the right things. So I'm a big proponent, honestly, of 80% is good enough. Like, what's that standard that you're really setting for yourself? Now, of course, I don't want a doctor that's going to just do 80% of my care. I want a doctor that's going to prioritize on the best treatment right then. Do I care if the doctor brings in hot tea for me? Well, I'd love a cup of tea. That would be a bonus, but it's not the priority, right? Let's make sure that we're being clear with what the real focus is, somehow publicly showing that, and also giving yourself that grace that you don't have to be everything. In fact, if you are trying to be everything, then there's some perfectionism struggle there, and that's a different shine like a North Star discussion. How is this sitting, this idea of permission to not be everything to everyone? I'm sure you're thinking, well, then what happens when I'm in my day, my work, my weekend, whatever it is, and other stuff just kind of creeps in? That happens, right? It does for me all the time. And, if it doesn't really matter, you don't have any pressing priorities, then stuff can creep in and the world doesn't stop. If you have some things that you definitely want to accomplish and they're important for real legitimate reasons, then you have to be disciplined to stay true to those priorities. So when people say, do you have a minute? Can I talk to you about something? Can I this, can I that? Yep, at 2 o'clock, I need to have this devoted time right now to do this. Or catch me tomorrow, my priority today is this. Let people know what the priority is. And if it's somebody that, like an employee that needs some of your time for something, well, hopefully the priority that you're working on is serving them in the long run, and explain the why behind how you can't meet that minute. I see someone is talking about accountability is something that is more difficult when working from home. You bet. It's really easy to, work privately and remotely where you don't have kind of that social circle. So what structures can you put in place to really help other people share what their priorities are? And gosh, you might find that people on your team have similar priorities and they can tag team. I always go with the analogy of Olympic circles, right? It's so much better when we're working on stuff instead of these polka dots, but really finding that overlap and making the magic happen. Olympic circles all the way. Can you hear my husband laughing in the background? I trust he's not listening to this WebEx right now. So there's the priority, accountability, and letting yourself with permission to not do that. So when people pull you into things, and they will, because that's human nature, and their priority needs to be met, which would be easier if you helped out, you have to have some really good discipline to not be pulled in those directions. So explain the why, be public about what you're working on, give the rationale of things, give yourself permission to say no, because I don't have to do my priority and help the person next door. If my priority is really to accomplish some of my shine like a North Star objectives, then it's probably going to benefit my partner who wants to have help with me. And don't be confused. I'm not suggesting that we don't collaborate. Gosh, the world is better with collaboration and the synergy that we get from multiple minds working together. I'm saying when we go home at the end of the day and we felt like we got nothing done and we're exhausted, that's the cycle I'm talking about. So be mindful about where your energy gets drawn. I've been with companies where we've done time studies. So really tracking in a day, where do you actually spend your time? Like, just track it. If you have a blank spot in your calendar, just kind of fill in, did email, talk to people on the phone, talk to so-and-so, kind of shot the breeze with another colleague. It was probably 10 minutes, but when I look at my calendar, it was really 30. So just see where you're spending your time and do some reflection around what your discipline is to really stay true, to shine your best like the North Star. All right. It's a treat to see so many family and friends on today. This is a tradition. I'd love to see you again next Tuesday. I would also love to hear any questions or topics that you want to think through that we can brainstorm about together. And if you have any referrals as I build my company, I would really appreciate that. My job is to help adults work well in the sandbox, play well in the sandbox together. We are better together. And anytime you throw a group of humans together, it's a little messy. And my expertise is helping people work through some of that messiness and develop our leaders to really shine and have teams that shine like the North Star. So without further ado, have a great Tuesday, and we will see you again next Tuesday. Stay safe, everybody.